Hey everybody, hey YouTube, this is Mr. Hardcore Mode where nothing's easy, here to bring you another hard rant in relation to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I'm here to check out Slandered Gaming, and he's a little bit optimistic about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and I am interested in what he has to say. He has some good points on some certain games, but some of them not so good, but hey, I'm here to listen. I'm here to understand the gamers. So here we go. Yeah, that pause. Yeah, it's a little weird. Anyway, let's go.
Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. Yesterday, we got a ton of impression videos for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and I gotta tell you, they look absolutely fantastic. I'm really excited for this game. Seems like a massive improvement over the original, but there are some aspects of the new footage that kind of give me pause and give me some concern. So I thought it'd be worth making a video going through what I liked and disliked regarding what we know thus far. Let's go ahead and start with the portions that I like. The game clearly looks significantly better than the original. Clothes are way more detailed. You can see the water boiling in pots during alchemy. Weapons glow when you're making them during blacksmithing. The menus look so much better.
Best menus I've ever seen.
The color scheme is absolutely fantastic, and the level of detail and organization now and all the different gear you have, super cool. But honestly, what I am most impressed with is the way you can look at faraway vistas now. One of the major complaints that I have with the first game is the way foliage is handled. You can basically come to these paths where foliage will completely...
There are certain foliages in KCD 1 where it would be muddied and then it would take 2 seconds and then it would finally show itself. Maybe I need to get a better CPU. Oh, great. Time to spend more money. Oh, yeah, that's gonna be great. I have a really good CPU. What the fuck? I don't need to get another CPU. I got how many cores? Hold up. Let me Ryzen 9 5900 12 core processor, 3.70 GH. Yeah, no, I'm good, bro. You know how much these things cost? These CPUs? They're not like GPUs, but I think KCD is really CPU heavy.
Block you from moving forward and block your sight. And honestly, there's been a couple of times in this game where I've jumped into a pit of foliage and there was no way around it and no way out.
The bush.
To the point that I had to reload a previous save.
Yep.
Absolutely hate that. It's been so annoying my entire playthrough, but it never occurred to me that Warhol Studios was using the foliage as a way to cut off the view of the player because they couldn't do far away vistas. But apparently that's the case.
Sometimes developers do certain things that kind of make you kind of be like, why do you have this? And then you find out why they did it. It's always like a coding or programming thing that nobody knows about. Like, does anybody ever play a video game and you always see that certain little thing around and you're like, what is that little thing? What is this? And then you find out, like, oh yeah, we use this to do such and such. And I was like, so that's why you put that little thing? I thought it was like a lever or something. And I'd be like, it's been driving me crazy. I would see like a little thing and I'd be like, what is this thing for? And he's like, oh yeah, we did that because for game design reasons. And I'm like, oh, you always find out certain things later on. And it's kind of funny.
Hey,
by the way, it says 275 perks at the bottom.
Because they
275 right there. 275 perks. Good Lord.
Way vistas. But apparently that's the case. And now foliage looks so much better in the game, and it's not used to block how far away Henry can look. So now he could just look out over large fields, see something way in the distance, and choose to travel towards it. No question, the graphics are a significantly step up, and in that same vein, the cinematics look incredible. Multiple impressions have shown some of the beginning game cinematics, and they just look amazing. Really seems like they're playing around with the camera work and providing you with angles and styles that weren't really used at all in the first Kingdom Come Deliverance game. The Castle Siege most especially looks amazing, and I can't wait to watch it in full for myself. Just seems like they've went all out and are trying new things. I love it. It's working really, really well from what we've been able to see thus far. One of Kingdom Come Deliverance's strongest areas was narrative. Right from the start, it pulled you into who Henry is and made you empathetic for him, and really made it enjoyable to play the game in his shoes, even for a player like me who usually prefers to be able to create my own character. It's hard to tell without playing the game for myself, but from the footage we see thus far, the narrative looks equally strong in the second game. Looks like a great start. I was concerned.
Did you see the picture of ESO looking at the entire script of KCD 2? It's like a giant script. It's like 3 big giant wads of just scripts, and it was fucking huge. I was like, this is more than Baldur's Gate 3.
About how progression would be handled, considering you're a much stronger warrior by the time Kingdom Come Deliverance ends. But it looks like you're gonna be able to basically choose a couple of options similar to what we did in the first game that provides you with some beginner stats, and you'll start with a rank of 5 in those stats that you have chosen, which to me is a very good trade-off and helps to make you feel like you're starting ahead of the game without...
Which is a good thing, because clearly Henry has learned a few things coming from KCD 1.
Also taking away from your own sense of progression throughout the game. So definitely happy about that. And I feel like the reasoning for why Henry isn't top level in all the skills the way it was before
on the back
works. It's not perfect. Of course, nothing would be perfect, but from what I've seen in the impressions, it absolutely works for me. So I'm not concerned that going from level 20, which is where you could end up in Kingdom Come, to now all of a sudden being back down to 0 or 5 is going to be a huge deal.
Because he's learned.
I think it's super cool that now all the stats can get up to level 30, and there are significantly more perks, more than 275. So there's a lot of room for growth and for you to create Henry in the exact way that you want to. The reactivity in the game also looks amazing. There's been multiple clips of NPCs reacting when Henry isn't clean, when he's committed crimes, when he's taken other...
We all know about just Henry walking into the bathhouse and you're all dirty, and the bathhouse ladies are just like, why do you look like shit? And I'm like, because I came here to not look like shit. I came to the bathhouse so I can get clean. Like every time they're just like, you look like trash. And I'm like, that's why I'm here, ladies. That's why I came to the bathhouse, so I could not look like shit. I think there's one line in KCD 1 where they're just like, well, it's a good thing you came here. And I'm like, finally, they understand. If I came over and I was clean, I mean, that's just free money for you. But it makes sense for a dirty man to come over and get clean.
Other people's clothes. What I'm really looking forward to as well, and is that it seems like Warhorse has put some real effort into reactivity when you are a criminal, or when you're someone who consistently commits criminal acts. You can be put into the pillory, you can be put into jail, you can have your face branded so that everybody knows you're someone who cannot be trusted.
Just letting you guys know, I'm never going to get caught. I know I'm going to try to do a ranger / rogue build where I'm sort of, you know, dastardly, and I'm going to try not to save scum. I think I'm going to eliminate save scumming out of this whole thing for my first playthrough. There's not going to be hardcore straight off the bat, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try not to save scum. It's going to suck.
I got a feeling that in my live stream, I'm going to end up with a branded face and it's going to piss me off. But I absolutely love to see the game put things in like that, which really make the world feel alive and make it feel like the world is actually reacting to what you do. One area that I've been a little bit disappointed in the first game is reactivity when it comes to my character being drunk. I've got bottles upon bottles of moonshine right now, and I've been drinking a lot of them, stumbling around, talking to priests, talking to nobles, and there's been no reactivity to that whatsoever.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit weird that they had what's it called? That you could literally get drunk, and I think you can I think people react to you getting drunk, but there's no, like, you can't talk to somebody and, like, be drunk. You talk to somebody and you're just normal. That would be cool if your choices were jumbled up and it kind of fucks you up, but that would be an undertaking, but that's fine. That's fine. Hopefully they do something for that in this next game.
And so I'm hoping that's an area where the sequel has improved, and if I'm stumbling around drunk and start talking to a noble or someone of authority in the city, hopefully they'll react to me and let me know, hey, you need to get your act together and stop drinking so much booze, but we'll see. One area that this sequel seems to be really concentrating on and expanding is the crafting systems. Of course, alchemy is coming back. How you deal with herbs and herbalism has been expanded, so you can't just pick them and use them. Now, if you pick them, they can go bad, just like food. And so you actually have to dry them out if you want to preserve them.
Yep.
And there are different levels of potions that you could potentially create based upon how closely you follow the instructions. So all of that sounds interesting, really cool. I do have a reservation about it we'll talk about in a bit, but I am a person who loves watching blacksmithing in movies and television. There's nothing that appeals to me more than some ancient legendary sword being created right before your eyes.
It is pretty cool.
Watch the craftsmanship go into that weapon. So to play as a person who is actually capable of crafting his own weapons, I think is super cool. And the question becomes, are you going to be able to create high-level, top-tier weapons?
That's what I would like to know.
That unquestionably you would use in the end game, or is there kind of a cap on how good these weapons can be? And Henry is probably going to end up more so using things that he loots out in the field. I'm hoping that you are able to craft really incredible gear, and that I can walk around all the time basically in stuff that I've made myself. I think that would just be absolutely amazing, super cool to be able to do. All that being said, while there are absolutely a ton of things I really like about the footage, there are definitely some reservations that I have that make me question whether or not I'll end up enjoying the final product. So let's go ahead and walk through it. First and foremost, for those of you who didn't follow Kingmaker when it first came out, it had a very buggy launch.
Kingmaker.
Now, I know there's a lot of Outcast fans in my channel, so I'm gonna say I don't feel like it was Kingmaker bad or Cyberpunk bad, but it was definitely bad. And there was a lot of people who paid full price who felt like they didn't get their money's worth and that the game should have been significantly more stable than it was. So it remains to be seen if Warhorse is capable of releasing a stable game right up front.
Fair enough.
Now, these impressions that came out are all from the first 20 hours of the game. And if you've been playing games for a while, you know how this rodeo goes. A developer will allow the upfront sections to be played because those are the ones where the most bugs have been ironed out, and those are the most stable sections. And so they'll
that has happened in a lot of different games where they would, well, minus Bethesda games, there's bugs fucking everywhere, okay? But in Starfield, it was stable in the first area-ish. But as soon as you went to the Constellation area or whatever the first planet was that you were going to meet, like your whole ragtag group or headquarters, it got buggy real fast. But yeah, that does seem to happen. I think they already put up the recommendations of certain, you know, what are they called? The specs. They already put up the specs like already, which I saw the specs and I was like, cool, I can run this. But at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, I really hope that this is on point, and I really hope that the team has this game polished out. Everybody thinks about this. It's true. Because the first game was
play those
pretty
sections,
buggy.
say positive things about the game and about its stability, and then when you get the final full product, all of a sudden it becomes clear that the back end section.
That's why there's always things about day one patches and stuff, and you're just like, well, I would hope that the game can run the whole way through, but we'll find out.
Is significantly worse, and that's the concern that
like
I have
Stalker
with
2.
this game, especially since the second half of the game is on a completely different map. So it feels like it's a completely different section of the game and could potentially be a completely different experience. And again, the people who did these impressions did not have any exposure to those areas at all. Now, keep in mind, Warhorse Studios has already started releasing review codes to creators. So there are a ton of people a couple of weeks before the game is even going to come out who already have access to it and will be able to craft their reviews in plenty of time, which of course speaks greatly to how much confidence they have in the game. But
True.
We could easily be in a situation headed towards another Baldur's Gate 3 where the first two sections were very, very well polished, but the last section heavily buggy, and a lot of people were disappointed.
Yeah, he's referring to Act 3 of Baldur's Gate 3, which was, I had to wait for that thing to finish. Yeah, he's right.
In that content at launch. Again, keep in mind, BG3 was still an amazing game, so KCD 2 could release in a buggy state, but at the end of the day, still end up being amazing. Another reservation I have.
Also, another thing, Veilguard was polished, but the game sucked. So, it's just like, oh man, this game is great. Veilguard's run so well, and look at the hair. Is the game good? No. No, the game is not good. The fuck are you talking about?
Is the save system. It's already been confirmed that once again, Kingdom Come Deliverance is going to have a save system where you're going to have to drink alcohol or sleep in order to be able to save your game.
Yeah.
Now, supposedly there are more autosaves in the new game compared to the original one, and the impressions that I watched all kind of said they felt like the save system was much more acceptable this time and that they found it much easier to use. But my issue is I kind of feel like all of those creators adapted to the original save system, right? I remember their thoughts on the original game, and I don't believe any of them said, hey, I modded the save system out. You know, all of them kind of just adapted. So to me, I take that wording with a grain of salt, because I'm the type of person, I hate it when developers play around with the save system. Just let me save when I want to, as many times as I want to.
Let me show you something. Yeah. Let me show you something. All these orange areas, are where you can sleep and save. All these orange areas right here is where you can sleep and save. Everybody knew that as soon as you go into a city, there's probably an inn or probably a house on the side of the city, and you can sleep and save. Also, out in the world, there are camps everywhere where you can sleep and save the game. Here's another thing. You can also use savior snaps. You can buy savior snaps, and you also can steal savior snaps. And you can also create savior snaps. for like a little quick save. And this is the thing. This is how the formula works. And it worked. Are some people not into it? Yeah. I just heard a lady do a review on KCD 2, and she said when she was playing KCD 1, she thought it was interesting, but it wasn't for her. She said this: I can understand why people like this, but for me, I would prefer I modded it and so I can quick save wherever I went. But she understood that other people would enjoy the whole save your snap or sleep and save for like 1 hour. She understood it. She talked about it for literally 7 seconds. And then she was like, oh, I'm just going to mod the game. So I don't see what the problem is. Like, it's their own philosophy of how they want to save the game. Like, every time when there's a meme, if you go to Kingdom Come Deliverance subreddit, there's a meme about savior snaps all the time. This is how you develop a community when you do certain things with your game, and this is their type of style of doing saving. You can choose not to drink and then just sleep and save. And here's another thing about saving. You already know at the beginning of the game, if you have lost a couple of hours in Kingdom Come Deliverance because you didn't save, it's a you problem. You knew that if you were going to be out here doing your own thing and not saving the game, it's a you problem. Because you already know about savior snaps. You already know about sleeping and saving. So when you lose hours of gameplay because you didn't save, you didn't think for a second, oh, I can't hit F5 and save my game. Oh, I need to leave and go back to town and go save. I've done so much. If you can't take the time to, also, it's a good feeling to know that people out here enjoy the game so much that they don't think about saving the game. I'm just saying, if you're deeply into the game and you're not thinking about saving, that says a lot about the game, is all I'm saying. But like I said, it's a you problem if you didn't save the game. I'm just saying. Just saying. Come on now.
Point blank period. I have never played a game that dicked around with the save system where I felt like, man, this makes the game so much better. You know, I'm so glad that
sure.
I can't save when I want to. I've never felt that way, and I certainly did not feel that way in Kingdom Come Deliverance. And so it becomes a concern for me about whether or not the save system is once again going to be an issue.
Also, the developers said with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, they made it a little bit easier to have savior snaps. So, yeah, they knew that somebody was going to complain about their game. So, in order for them to meet people in a wider audience, you know, in a wider audience, they had to dumb down a couple of things. Especially with the perk system, they had to add, instead of there's lockpicking, pickpocketing, and stealth, now it's all in thievery. Because some people don't understand that in order for you to play this game, in order for you to get better at something, is that you have to learn and utilize that sort of thing. You want to get better with the sword, use the sword. If you want to get better with an axe, use an axe. If you want to get better at lockpicking more. These are all systems that integrate into this game. And when people see savior snaps, they're just thrown for a loop. Like, when I played the game on hardcore mode, okay? Straight off the bat, first time playing. And I saw, oh, I need savior snaps. Well, let me make some. And then I made some, and then I was cool. I didn't bitch about the fucking savior snaps. I knew that if I didn't save, that I would lose progress. And I did. And did I go, oh shit, you guys need to change this for the next game. Nah. That's nah. Nah. You knew. You knew. You are out there and you are Henry. You are out there alone. When you leave the city in the pitch black darkness, you need to realize the realism and authenticity of the game. You are going out there in the world on your own. You will get mugged, you will get like stabbed, you will run into random fights. You need to realize that is the type of style game that they are making. They are not going to change the formula just because a couple of people didn't realize that they needed to save the game after 2 hours. Okay, cool. You got mad. Get mad about you losing 2 hours of not saving the game. Just to let you know, it's your fucking fault. Okay? I don't know what to tell you.
In the sequel, there was at least one impressions video that talked about he lost around 50 minutes of playing time because he got killed during a fight, and the last autosave was from that far back.
Well, next time, don't die. I don't know. It's next time, be prepared. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
That would do so much to damage my experience. There's a whole lot of things I'm willing to tolerate, but losing progress because of a save system is just not one of them.
When you leave a city and you don't have any savior snaps, or you don't know where you can like lay your head and save the game, that's the first thing that I look at in the first 30 minutes of the game. I try to quick save, I try to see my button mapping, my key mapping, and I'm like, oh, I need savior snaps? Okay, that's cool. That's my save system? Okay, then I'm going to need to get more savior snaps so I can save. Oh, you didn't have savior snaps? Whose fault is that?
I'm absolutely not one of them. And in that same vein, while I absolutely love Kingdom Come Deliverance, I'm having a great time with it. I'm hoping to review it before this sequel comes out. And if so, I'm certainly going to be high in many areas. One of the areas that I do feel like the game falters is that it's way too willing to waste the player's time doing something that either isn't fun or doesn't really add to the experience and just causes frustration that isn't really about getting better or building up your skills. And the save system is definitely an area that I feel that way. Alchemy is also an area that I feel that way. The first maybe 10 times you do alchemy, it's super cool. Like, man, I've got to read this book and get these exact ingredients and all that kind of stuff. Not bad at all. Definitely enjoy it. Definitely see all the love and work they put into it. Definitely comes off as a very realistic process. And so all that is super cool. But you have to get up to level 10 before you can start auto brewing potions. And the amount of time it takes to reach that perk is just abhorrent. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I actually had to spend hours off stream building my skill up to that point because I knew it'd be boring as hell for my community to have to watch me make these potions over and over and over.
The developers are not making a game for streamers. They're making a game for gamers. I'm going to have to ask you to realize that. They're making a game for gamers. That's it. If you thought that you were going to come over to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and think that you got to engage your own viewers every 5 minutes or something like that with something that you're doing on the screen, I'm going to let you know it's not the video game, it's you. Okay? It's you. Not the video game, not the music that you play in the background. It's your content, your entertainment that you bring to the table. Carnage has a following of millions of people that watch his streams, that watch his YouTube, that watch his channel. And guess what? He plays a lot of games that are pretty boring, that are like watching paint dry. But many people watch this man because he's got some positive vibes. He's pretty cool. He knows about game development. He knows what he's doing. It's fun to watch him because he brings in good content. If you are coming into the streaming platform and you are in danger of losing views because you think that the game is gonna be boring if you make alchemy potions for like 30 minutes, then it's not the game, it's you. Because the game is literally centered around you being immersed in the whole game. I do not want to have some stupid alchemy HUD that comes out and it's a reticle, and every time when you hit the reticle right on the green slot, you made like 10 potions. That's boring. I'm sorry, Slandered Gaming, but I like the alchemy. And also the alchemy is going to be a little bit harder in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 because some of those ingredients need to be old and some of those ingredients need to be brand new and fresh. So you're not going to like the alchemy. You might as well just stay away from it completely. And also, I hope I don't hear anything about blacksmithing, bro. Every 15-year-old, 14-year-old, or whatever kid, even adults who love video games have always imagined, like, bro, what if we didn't have the whole HUD screen for when you're crafting and you literally made your sword? That would be cool, bro. You would hammer the sword and you would stick it in the water and you could make like a bastard sword. So you don't need no HUD. You can this is literally what kids talk about and what people who are high talk about, where you're literally immersed into the game. You're literally in there. And I'm so sorry that you can't make 100 daggers in literally 5 to 10 minutes and level it all the way up to 100. I'm so sorry that's not this type of game. This might not be the game for you because that's literally the core element of this game, is to get you in the immersive experience, to be authentic with how you build or shape or create things. You literally open a book right in front of you and your character turns the page. This isn't some put it on the screen and it's just a whole bunch of text and you can go from A to D and you can change the page that way with a little page. No, they got you in the game. They don't give you another screen too much. They reduce the amount of screens with the UI. So if you find the alchemy to be something that's not for you, you might have to find out that this whole game is probably not for you. That's another conversation.
Again. And my fear is that they're going to lean right back into that with the alchemy skill for the sequel. And to a lesser degree, it might end up being that way with blacksmithing as well.
Vine says, I won't be bored watching you brew potions. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. If you're bored creating all these things, then you're not into the game. You're just making videos for content. And that's great. That's cool. But I'm going to tell you right now, if all you're looking at this whole thing is I need to see some views and I need to see numbers go up, I'm going to let you know right now this is not the experience for you. Okay? I play the games that I enjoy. Minus Veilguard, because I wanted to make sure that BioWare was in complete disarray. I knew what I was getting myself into. I knew. I was like, oh yeah, this game's going to be shit. Let's go ahead and get in. And then when I finished the game, oh yeah, the game's shit. Okay. All right, let's go talk about something else. That's it. I knew what I was getting myself into. The game's polished. It has barely any bugs. Game's still shit. But like I said, it's you. It's firmly on you. People come to see you. They do not come to see the game.
I certainly hope not, but when I look at it, when I saw Wolfhard brewing them posters, I'm like, yeah, this brings back memories of me doing the same thing over and over again in a very, very monotonous fashion. I don't think it
wasn't monotonous, and it was pretty fun. And if that's not into what you're doing, then don't do alchemy. But I'm going to let you know right now, if you don't like that, then you're not going to like the rest of the game, because there's a lot of different things that make you like, yeah, if you consider it all monotonous, if you consider all the stuff that you do in this game that takes time, like for example, when I shoot arrows at a target, in order for me to get those arrows back, I have to pick up each and every individual arrow. If that's not to your liking, where I can just pick up all the arrows in one go, then this game is not for you. That's all. Let's move on.
Really helps. There are some other ways the original game kind of wastes your time that I'll talk about in my review, but it's definitely a concern for me that the sequel is going to bring some of this stuff back that doesn't really add to your enjoyment of the game.
For you. For you. Not the game, for you. I enjoy making alchemy potions. I'm about to do that tonight. I enjoy the fact that I can make my own weapon. I enjoy the fact that I need to pet Mutt 500 times in order for him to level up all the way to max. I enjoy these things. Carnage, guess what? Carnage plays RimWorld. That game is like watching paint dry. Carnage has played Satisfactory, where you build a factory and you just that's it. You build a factory and you collect materials. That game's boring, but thousands of people watch it. Carnage has played so many games where it's just literally him collecting stuff and collecting loot and crafting stuff. But people watch him because he's fun to watch. So it's entirely up to you. If you yourself are not having fun with KCD 1, I don't know why the fuck you're playing KCD 2. Content, I guess.
A lot of other ways where you have to slowly build yourself up, I'm totally good with. Combat being difficult, actually having to pick all the herbs that you want to use, all that kind of stuff.
I'll tell you one thing. The combat in the first game was pretty clunky. There's moments where I'm like, I parry somebody completely in KCD 1, and then out of nowhere they snap back to reality and they're able to parry the next attack, and I'm like, no, I just saw you. I countered you. Your shoulder was available. Your left leg was available. I don't know how you were able to do that. Now I'm seeing KCD 2 gameplay. That shit looks smooth. But yeah, carry on.
Hey, whatever, I'm all for it. But make these systems things that I do in the course of the game, not a task that I have to complete monotonously over and over.
The thing about monotonous is it's completely subjective. If you consider the stuff that you do into the game of KCD 1 is monotonous, then I'm going to let you know that what you're going to do in KCD 2 is also going to be monotonous, because they have the same exact stuff. So I consider all this stuff that you do, I wish they added fishing. I wish fishing was another thing, but they don't have it. That's fine. That's fine. I'm going to move on from that. But what I'm saying is, if you do not appreciate what they have right now, because it's going to be in the second game, it's not going to change. So here's what you got to do. If you don't want to do blacksmithing, then don't do blacksmithing. If you don't want to do alchemy, don't do alchemy. If you don't want to do any of those things because you consider them to be, oh, they're just monotonous, it's just there to waste your time, which is incorrect, because in order for you to waste your time, you would have to not have fun. So me hearing you say that you're not having fun on KCD 1, but you're going to play KCD 2, that's up to you. You're a grown adult, you can figure that out. But that's all I'm saying, man. It's just like,
over and over again for no real reason. To
Also, repetition is a good way for you to learn. That's how Henry was built for KCD 1, and that's how you do it in KCD 2. I believe there is a line in KCD 2 where it's literally all about, like, it's basically like, in order for you to train, in order for you to do something, you must learn. You must build yourself to understand something. In order for you to read, you need to read again. In order for you to learn alchemy, you must make some alchemy potions. If you just want this to be like, make 3 potions and then you're in God mode, I'm here to tell you that's not this type of game, okay? If you want just a mobile game of Henry and you can level up everything and then you can go straight to the end, you can save the princess or something like that, I'm sorry to say that's not how this game is built. This game is built on you learning and building and doing a little bit of repetition that people find fun, by the way. People find this really engaging and fun. I don't like to use the engaging word too much, but people find this sort of thing fun. Also, the whole thing about you saying, like, oh man, the blacksmithing, you saying that you're concerned about the blacksmithing because it's gonna take too long. I'm just like, fine, man. I'm so, that's like so anti-fun. It's so anti-fun. I will do blacksmithing all fucking day on this fucking game. And if people want to watch, fine. If people don't want to watch, fine. But I'm going to tell you right now, if I see my channel move up to like 30 views, which it barely even does, and they're watching me make potions and blacksmithing, then it's not the game, it's you.
To me, that's just wasting the
You learn by repetition.
Another issue that I have with this game is stilted faces. So in the cinematics, the faces look amazing. They've got a full range of animations and emotions. You don't have to wonder how a particular character is feeling. You could just look at their face and tell. All of it is absolutely fantastic. But then you have what are the vast majority of the conversations where one character is standing looking at Henry, and then Henry's looking right back at him, and the camera just switches back and forth between them. In those situations, the faces are much more stilted. There are virtually no animations, and they're kind of just staring at each other while speaking. And I'm gonna be honest with you, when I saw these sequences, it reminded me strongly of Veilguard. One of the things I brought up in my Veilguard review is I felt like the faces never really moved. There wasn't enough animation.
For Veilguard, it was both. Veilguard had characters that were not only stilted, but also animated way too much, especially Tash. Tash, some characters had too many animations. Some characters were like, anyway, we need to go save the world. So sometimes it was never in the middle. I think my main character had some good moments, but yeah, like that was the thing. It doesn't take too also I do like the fact that the characters do look better and their faces do look much better in KCD 2. But I think it's good that your character doesn't make any sort of your own character anyway. Your own character making a certain face during a conversation, if they're not like, if your character is getting hurt, it would make sense if the character is making some sort of, you know, sort of active face where he's like hurt or something like that, or holding himself, or his eyes are closed or something like that. That sort of moment makes sense. But when it comes to you just talking to one individual, and that one individual pisses you off, your character having a straight face kind of makes sense, because you have a long list of certain interactions with that said character. He says something like, Henry, I would shag your mom. And your character can go from looking pissed, saying, as soon as you hit that button and say you're pissed and you want to attack the person, that's when Henry starts to activate, have that certain, look to himself where he's like, you take that back or I'm going to fight you right now. That sort of thing like that. But you could make some sort of passive sort of like interaction with that person. And then your character reacts and says like, hey man, I know you really don't mean that. Let's just calm down and figure this thing out. That's a sort of different animation that character can make. Instead of Henry just having the face already, like some people that play the game will already be like, well, I want to fight this guy. Some people will not. Like, let's say somebody pisses off Henry, and Henry already looks fucking pissed off. You know what I'm saying? Henry already looks pissed off, but I'm over here like, actually, I'm going to make Henry try to appease the person that's trying to antagonize Henry, and I'm going to offer him a drink and see if we can become buddies. You see what I'm saying? Instead of Henry already given a mean look, saying, like, it's basically saying that you're going to hit this guy because he called your mother a whore or something like that. I can understand some people will not understand that, but I gotta say, for added reference, the eyes and the way the characters move their faces in this game, the way the characters look is absolutely amazing. In KCD 1, we can talk about stilted looks all day. We can talk about that stilted looks all day. But I actually really like the KCD 2 ones. But that's just me. I can... I can give a little bit of room and say like, okay, all right, if you consider that stilted, that's fine.
It kept using this weird half smile when you would talk with characters, and it was very, very annoying. It made conversations feel unrealistic. Now, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, from what I've seen, has better voice acting, and it seems to be written better. Certainly, the first game was written better as well, and so I would probably still enjoy these conversations more. But I do find the lack of facial animations in these interactions to be concerning. And I hope it's not indicative of what a large portion of the conversations are going to be like in the game. And then the last concern I have regarding this game is...
I think the whole facial animations thing can be forgiven because a lot of people focus mostly on the gameplay. But yeah, I think the gameplay is the biggest one. But the facial animations, people can give or take, but people will still like the game. But it's up to them.
Can Warhorse tell a complete story? So I'm in the middle of my live stream of Kingdom Come Deliverance right now. But of course, a bunch of people have been reaching out to me about the game. They've revealed stuff, spoiled stuff, talked about the game, etc., etc. And one of the things that has been really, really hammered home is that there are a lot of people who played through this entire game and felt like it didn't tell a complete story, that it basically came off as a prequel and not a full game in and of itself, in large part because there are major story threads that are started in the beginning of the game, and they're not wrapped up, they're not completed. Instead, players have had to wait until Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has come out.
Kind of like Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, kind of like every game that has 1, 2, and 3. Oh, the story didn't finish. Yeah, I know, because there's more to come. Yeah, kind of like Uncharted. Kind of like, man, I didn't like the game because it didn't completely finish. Now we have to have another Kingdom Come Deliverance? Fuck. Damn it. Jeez, I wish it could just finish already. And I'm like, okay.
In order to finally address some...
Also, the developers have already said that the game goes like this. Henry doesn't know shit, and he's just a boy in the first game. In KCD 2, Henry is now a man, and now he's more fleshed out. And yeah, that's just how Henry is right now. As a matter of fact, you can actually tell from looking at the HUD of Henry. If you look at Henry completely naked, like just wearing his underwear in KCD 1, he looks like a boy. But if you look at Henry in KCD 2, he's built more and he's more of a man. So it kind of makes sense. But I guess people haven't realized that, that's just, the story keeps going. Yeah, it's fine.
Some of those issues and allow Henry to get his actual revenge. And so there are some people who love the ending, who speak very highly of the story overall, but there are definitely a lot of people who feel like, again, Kingdom Come Deliverance is basically half a game. Or
who are these a lot of people? I don't. It's okay to not get a number, but who are these a lot of people? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It sounds very subjective, but it sounds. I'm not going off any numbers here, but it sounds. How can I believe you? A lot of people enjoy this game, and I can understand that some people don't like the game because this is not what they're into. But what do you mean? Like, some people like the story, but a lot of people don't like it. Don't like the game is not finished, and I'm like, what do you mean a lot? Because literally the first game is you take care of the area of Bohemia full of brigands, cumans, and mercenaries that are the people the enemies that work for Sigismund. And literally, as soon as that one antagonist left, I was like, oh, they're going to carry it over to the second game. All right, we'll see him in the second game. I didn't think to myself, oh shit, why didn't they just do the whole game in one go? I thought to myself, okay, that's pretty unique that the game starts you off as you just handling some mercenaries that are in line with Sigismund's army. Sigismund is the main antagonist to this whole thing. But, yeah, like, because Sigismund kidnapped Wenceslas, if I'm correct. And Sigismund is, pretty much ransacking every place in Bohemia for himself, because he feels like he has a right to the throne. And so everybody understood the assignment. And when the game ended and I fought the guy that took my sword, I noticed that he did not have my sword. So I was like, oh, so they carried over, and I find the guy that has my father's sword. So we might have another instance where it's just like, time to get my sword back, time to plant revenge on the next person. And then if there's going to be a Kingdom Come Deliverance 3, you're probably going to face off against Sigismund. I'm not sure. But I do know one thing. I would like some more Kingdom Come Deliverance. I'm fine with playing 2 games. And also, let's remind ourselves, this is a Kickstarter game. So for them to do a whole fledged story in one go, one, that could actually fuck up the story because now you're trying to speed through everything. And 2, they don't have the funds for it. As a matter of fact, if you walk by a shrine in Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, you can literally see who has been kickstarting the game. Some guy named Big Booty Lover 2337. Yeah, he donated to this game, and after a while, they built up their studio. So there's that.
Less than a full game, and you pretty much have to combine it with this sequel in order to get a complete experience. Now, keep in mind, there's a bunch of reasons for that, right? It was a Kickstarter game.
There we go.
Warhorse had limited resources. The type of game they wanted to do to fully flesh out the story, they just didn't have the resources in order to be able to do it. So it's not negligence. It's not that, hey, we're just going to screw over the fans and give them something slipshod. There are very, very good reasons why this game had to be split up the way that it was. But the fact remains that Kingdom Come Deliverance is Warhorse's only game. And so this sequel will hopefully be their first time trying to deliver a full campaign for players. And it remains to be seen if that's something they're actually capable of.
Why did they have to end it on the second game? No, I'm curious. What is your fascination with ending the game? Well, I am so curious. I'm so curious. If I remember correctly, in God of War, you don't fight Zeus, or you don't fight and kill Zeus until God of War 3. You fight Ares in the first God of War. And the second one, you fight Zeus, but the fight isn't over. In the third game, you fight the Titans and you fight the gods, and then you fight Zeus. Nobody was going around saying, well, why didn't you finish all of God of War? What the hell are you talking about? I'm just curious as what are you trying to say? Why? What's the fascination with you saying like, oh man, I'm so glad that I can understand what's the term that I'm looking for? The stretching of a story. The stretching of a story. I can understand that. But that's just not how it is. That's just not how it is. So I'm trying to reach him at a certain level where it's just like, if you focused on just the main story will be over in less than 20 hours. And probably even less than that. I'm because the story is just pretty much you taking care of some nobles, taking care of some brigands, some cumans, and then you have a little bit of political intrigue, and then at the end you do a little bit of sneaking, and then you have the big boss, the big fight at the end, and then it's over, baby. It's fucking over. That's it. And I'm hearing everybody say like, well, man, why didn't they just finish it up? And I'm like, what's your rush with finishing up the game? Why is it that this game is different for everybody to finish up the game so soon, but other games, everybody's looking forward to the next game? Like, why didn't they finish up Dragon Age? I'm just curious. Why can't we finish up Dragon Age? Why do we have Dragon Age 4? I mean, I don't consider Dragon Age 4 canon. I do not at all. Why didn't they just stop at Inquisition? Well, that's easy. Because people enjoy the game. So having more of a game and having a fleshed out story, which is fleshed out very well, I might add, who's losing here?
Doing. Hopefully that'll be the case. We won't know for another couple of weeks. And that's the video. Those are my thoughts regarding the impressions that we have thus far for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Once again, very excited about the game. Absolutely plan to play it. Definitely feel like I'm going to enjoy it. We'll see where it ranks in the hierarchy of all the great games. But I feel like for 2025, this is a game we're going to be talking about at the end of the year in regards to what award is it going to win. Let me know down in the comments. What are your thoughts? Do you?
It ain't gonna get any award because male gaze and all these weird shit. Everybody knows that the Game Awards is rigged. We all know that. We're all straight with that. We all know that it's rigged, right? Astrobot won. Get the fuck out of here. But that's this video. I will share it with you guys right now. Boom, right there. That was Slandered Gaming. I like to hear his point of view because he has different things to say. Let's see what they said. Warhorse, Studio Warhorse recently frankly said that they only exist because of the fan community, because they helped and supported them during the difficult times when there was no money for the development of KCD 1. And there was no salary. The fans from all over the world were also a big support for the studio when the big publisher was not interested in the Kingdom Come game until Deep Silver came and picked them up. Because it doesn't meet the spells, dragons, robots, etc. Warhorse Studios honestly says that the fans are family. That's good. I have to say, many previews have been changing my mind. If I can play a sneaky poison using Rogue Henry, I might get it. That's what I'm going to do. Hey, Slandered, you don't just have the saves from the Savior Snaps. You can also save and quit, but also every town ends and rent from 2 groshens. You can literally spend 2 groshens, and sometimes littered around the landscape there are little settlements with save and sleep potions. But yeah, the save system does distract from the game, but I have not had a super hard time saving the game, even in hardcore playthrough without the auto saves. He's right. And that meets something. Nobody cares about what awards it wins. If the game is fun, word of mouth will get out, and there's what matters. Fuck yes, Briars. Say it, say it, say it. Yep, you're right. What did he say at 1508? I hear you, but the first game did not focus us to brew potions. It was an optional flavor besides a couple of side quests. I also kind of liked the monotonous of brewing, but did not spend much time on it in the end. People are saying that while the Schnapp system is still there, the game's autosaves a lot more than having any annoying losses of progress and so forth. I heard that there's more autosaves with the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Also that there's more save your snaps. To answer the question at 720, the best swords tier 4 in the game can only be crafted by you. So that's going to be cool in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. So that's cool. The reason I like the save system in KCD is because it adds a sense of risk to the game. Exactly. Which makes it all the better when you escape danger or succeed in a risky scenario. If you can save whenever, then your actions have no weight to them because you can reload from any point you want whenever you want. He's absolutely correct. Because think about it. I've been save scumming on Kingdom Come Deliverance before I've been trying to stealth pickpocket people, and it doesn't leave any room for risk because I'm saving before and I reload. So there's no sense of risk. I know it, you know it, everybody knows it. Yeah, but yeah. The one and only game where I can actually liked how they restricted saves was Far Cry 2, when in the original non-PC version, you could only save at save houses. That's true for like Resident Evil stuff. There are always safe houses that you could not clear mission objectives, and after you cleared them, those safe houses could contain NPC allies. Yeah, I remember that for Far Cry. Yeah, true. Yeah. Anyway. I'm gonna end it there. Thanks so much for joining me on this little hype. I'm gonna play some Kingdom Come Deliverance. I appreciate y'all being here for another hard rant, and I'll see you guys later.